Hi, Daddy.
Hi, welcome to the Sam and Ryan channel. Now, today is going to be an episode of Versus. As you have seen in the thumbnail and title, it is a man versus a woman.
We set out to make content on this YouTube channel, honestly, to just sort of entertain ourselves during quarantine, and I think a lot of our content reflects our wholesome, happy-go-lucky vibes. But every so often we strike on a topic of conversation that either gets a little cerebral or maybe a little heavy, and this video definitely went there at times.
That being said, after we filmed this video, we realized that there was a lot said that we wanted to keep and we wanted to share with you all, but it was like a lot of footage.
Like an hour's worth.
It was a lot of footage, but all very important stuff. So this episode of Versus is going to be split into 2 parts.
Like we said, we're gonna get deep, so we just wanted to prepare you for that as you continue watching. But please enjoy the video, and next week we will hit you with the part 2 as well.
Enjoy. Hello everybody, welcome to the Sam and Ryan channel, and welcome to another episode of Versus. My name is Sam.
My name's Ryan.
And today we are doing a man versus a woman. He's a man, I'm a woman. We're gonna talk about it.
I'm really excited for this video. I think that it's an important thing to continue to break down these barriers and try to push against not only some of the things that we think about gender now, but also a lot of these questions are about like things that we were taught about gender growing up that I think are archaic and pretty damaging. So I'm super excited to get your point of view on those things.
Yeah, ready to unpack a lot of it.
Unpack, Daddy. Hi, Daddy. I never said hi, Daddy. I'm losing
It's broken.
I think that we have to stop making YouTube videos.
No.
Okay, we'll keep making
here,
them.
just say it right now.
Hi, Daddy.
It's saved. If you guys are new here, Versus is a little show we do where we gather 2 people, set them down in front of a bowl of questions. Oh, is that center?
I don't know, I can't tell.
We'll never know. Leave a comment down below if that's in the center of the table. And those 2, I don't really need to explain this show.
Yeah, I mean, I think they
it's
will
okay.
understand it, and if they don't, they'll pick it up as they go.
Let's get into it.
Let's. Ladies first. Do you get it?
Yeah, that was topical.
No, Destiny, you have to pick that one.
It was crawling out of the bowl for me. Okay. What do you think other people expect from you on social media based on your gender? I think the best example I have of this is anytime I post a question box on Instagram in my story, you know, where you can prompt people to ask you questions. I get good questions, but I also get it filled up with post more bikini pictures, post nudes, tits, show us your boobs. That's something solely based on my gender. And I think being a woman on social media, a lot of people expect your page to be all about your looks. And like, I'm not knocking anybody who's super confident and like wants to show their confidence on social media, like to each their own. But it's when it's like demanded from an audience that it's like, oh, this is because I'm a woman. There are some times where like I just think I look really good in a photo and I want to post it, and it's maybe a little bit more of a revealing photo of myself. And so I post it, but it gets, in my opinion, negative attention. Some people might view it as positive attention because it's a lot of people commenting about my body, but through my lens, it's negative attention because it makes me uncomfortable. Like, not people just saying like, wow, you look great, like, thank you, I'll take it. Like, I think I look great too, that's why I posted this picture. But it's when it's like the really nasty comments that's like, it like discourages me from posting pictures that I actually like about myself.
Again, something I never deal with, but I wonder, as someone who's never experienced this, like, how do you know what side of the line you're on? Am I celebrating my body? Am I celebrating my looks? Am I celebrating the way that I look? Or am I entertaining the masses of people who expect this of me?
Yeah.
You know, like, is this empowering, or is it
Pandering.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell. And I think it's one of those things that you can never tell someone what side of the line they're on that choice has to be from their perspective, from the content creator, like from the poster's perspective. Because regardless, if I was posting from a place of just confidence and like celebration of feeling confident in my body, it would still gain the audience of nasty comments. So I don't think it's really fair for some people to look at a girl's Instagram and see the nasty comments and then go like, oh, she's just posting this for clout, or like, oh, she's just posting this like to get attention, because you don't know that. Like, the comments don't reflect the poster.
Yeah, well
Off
put.
to a great start, you guys.
I mean, my answer is very simple. What's expected of me on social media as a man? Nothing. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing that's expected of me. Yeah.
I mean, even just like the difference in the length of our answers, I think is very telling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Your turn.
What's something that you wish you could do that the other can?
Go ahead.
I mean, my like joke answer that isn't a joke, but multiple orgasms. And my other answer, honestly, is like be unapologetically feminine. I know that I can, and I know that it's a much safer space for me as a man to be unapologetically feminine than it would be for, say, you as a woman to be unapologetically masculine.
Sure.
However, I wear makeup sometimes. I put a little concealer on. I make my eyebrows pop and whatever, and I feel really self-conscious about that. And like even like we live together. You're my girlfriend. You love me. And even like sometimes I'm like looking over my shoulder, like, oh, I don't want Sam to see me putting makeup on. Like just the like or this is a woman's cardigan. I bought it at Target, and I was kind of like, just that like there's shame in being feminine. I would so much rather be feminine than masculine. I know that I can be, but I wish that I could be, and I wish that it would be just holistically celebrated, instead of men coming after me for like betraying our gender, because everyone wants to be a man, or women coming after me and being like, not manly enough for us,
Yeah.
which is just sort of like, what? Like, why would you want a manly man? Like, they are terrible.
It's really interesting what you said about shopping in the women's clothing section, because I think that actually revealed just a little bit of a double standard, because I feel no shame and I don't feel self-conscious when I'm shopping in the men's section for like oversized baggy t-shirts or sweaters or whatever. It's interesting because I think it's because there's something that's like romanticized about a woman in man's clothing. Like the morning after in movies, she's always wearing the man's t-shirt. She's always wearing the man's sweater.
What's something that you wish you could do that you can't?
Honestly, my first answer is just like be in a public space and not be concerned. I want to go on a walk, like daytime, nighttime, and not be concerned about any person that I see round the corner. Or
Any person?
any man. I mean, I've been harassed, I've been assaulted, and one time I was assaulted in Times Square by a homeless man who was clearly out of his mind, but was still a very traumatic experience. But one could say that a woman walking by herself could expect to be assaulted in Times Square at night. The other time I was harassed and someone was trying to proposition me for sex was when I was walking to my local 7-Eleven at 2 p.m. broad daylight. I sometimes see people talk about having the perspective to where it's we need to stop making women so paranoid by teaching them all of these self-defense hacks and talking about assault. And I'm if anything, that makes me feel more prepared. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and I disagree on terms. Paranoia is the irrational fear that something that is absolutely not going to happen is going to happen. That's not the case for a woman being afraid of being assaulted, because 4 out of 5 of women are.
Yeah. And so it's my answer to this question is just would just be able to be in public spaces by myself and just have that not be on my mind. I would travel by myself. Are you dead? Like, I would fully travel by myself. I wouldn't be concerned about being out late. Like, it's something I think about when I'm like walking across the parking lot at night. So yeah, sounds kind of like a dark and heavy answer, but that's because it is.
And again, we're exposing a huge dichotomy again, which I think is the obvious point of this video, but like mine is like, I wish I could have more orgasms and like dress differently, and yours is like, I wish I could exist in public space without being afraid.
Yeah.
Woof.
Whew.
And like, we're both white people. Like, there's
Yeah.
a whole
No, I
intersectional
know,
conversation.
Totally, for people of color. Like, it's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Goodbye. My turn?
Yes.
All right. Oh, this is a thick boy. What do you think the top comment would be if you posted a picture of yourself kissing a member of the opposite sex? I can honestly say that it would just be something about like hot, or like post this on OnlyFans, or something just sexualizing it. I definitely know that there's a double standard though about when a woman kisses a woman versus when a man kisses a man, because like I've been at parties where it's like a dare for like me to kiss another girl, and it's like a fun thing, and it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. Like, we're like, oh, haha, we kissed. But I feel like that would go differently in some circles if it was like a man and a man.
Yeah, I mean, my like sexual orientation is very fluid, so I think for me in particular, people, well, and I mean, I'm also like, one of the most famous gifs of me is me like licking Stasner's face from Rocky Horror. So like, I think it's a little different for me, but at the same time, like, I've experienced so much homophobia in my life, and I've been in fear of just like being a feminine man, especially like in high school and in Minnesota. I mean, we live in California, it's a pretty liberal place. I can kind of do what I want here. But that being said, to your point about a double standard, like, I don't know, because what's better? I mean, if I like being a man kissing a man and having that trivialized or somehow weaponized, or being a woman kissing a woman and have that automatically being sexualized. I mean, again, it's just like, no matter what, you're viewed through that lens.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's any better.
Like, women kissing women is so sexualized. Like, even I think lesbians or people who are bisexual are like often heavily sexualized, but for the male gaze still. Like, it's just so baffling to me how it's like, even if it's like two lesbians madly in love, like there's always gonna be some sort of perception of them that's sexualized by some man on the internet. Like, it's just...
Right, because men live in the space of, okay, but how is this for me?
Exactly.
This is a heavier one, but I'm really glad we're doing this.
Yeah, it is. It's heavier for sure, but I agree. I think this is a good conversation to be having, and obviously you and I are in a relationship. We have these conversations, but it's nice to have this for you guys.
Right, because it's so much bigger than just our individual experiences.
Exactly.
How are you taught about birth control?
Interesting.
I mean,
Let me think back to middle school. The way that birth control was always pitched to me was that it was my responsibility. Like, yes, he needs to use condoms, but at the end of the day, it is your responsibility because it is your body. And the consequences of getting pregnant are very different for the man versus the woman. It's just wild, all of the hoops that women have to jump through to get birth control and to get access to birth control. Whereas you can just buy a condom at a CVS or at a gas station. It's like, no, you have to see a doctor to get on birth control. And there's a lot of trial and error, because sometimes it messes with your hormones. The first pill that I was on was not it. really messed with my hormones. And there was a lot of trial and error there. I had to go back to talk about other options. And it is great that there are so many different birth control options for women, but it's so unfair to me that it feels like the responsibility of birth control is solely on the woman. I'm team vasectomy all the way. Just because a vasectomy is something that can be reversed. And so if you decide to have children, you can get it reversed and then have children. Choosing to get a vasectomy is a much easier decision to make than any decision that a woman who got pregnant accidentally would have to make.
Okay, I'll get one. Jeez.
No, I'm just saying, it's just one of those things where it's like, and also, I believe I learned this in an episode of Vox Explained on Netflix about birth control. Birth control was originally invented for men, but they found that there were too many side effects and like they didn't want to continue to go through it for men. And so the male scientists thought, oh, well, actually, let's see if we can find a more effective form of birth control for women. And
Right.
so they ran with that.
And it wasn't, well, we'll make it for women because they won't have side effects. It was like, well, we'll make it for women and they'll tolerate the side effects because they're women.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where birth control was taught to me as my responsibility. Even like if I'm with a guy, like making sure that he wears a condom, like
Right.
that was also my responsibility.
Well, yeah, I mean, I even remember for us, it's like the fear of God was instilled in all the girls. Like the end result of this is you would get pregnant. It was never like, and boys, the end of result of this is you would be responsible for that pregnancy. Mm-hmm. Like it was just sort of like, but girls,
Like,
you know,
you
it's
will
like,
get
wait,
pregnant.
what? Like this is, you know, kind of a team effort here. Yeah, just woof.
It's wild. Well, like we said, we went there. We really hope you enjoyed this part 1 and that you are ready for part 2 next Friday.
We'll see you there, Daddy.
See you there.